Hi everyone, thanks for listening to my presentations. Today I'll be talking about adrenal gland. This will be part 1 of 7 when it comes to adrenal gland. Okay, sit back and let's go. I have talked about hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis briefly in the past. That was the time I was talking about hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis, and of course hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, which could be hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis when it comes to ovulation in women. But today, I will be limiting myself to hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. The adrenal glands are very important physiologically. Adrenal cortex and medullary parts will appear in the second month of the fetal development. The cortex is from mesothelial cells, and at 8 weeks of gestation, full differentiation into the outer and inner cortex would have been formed, but the outer is thinner than the thicker inner. The cortex is responsible for steroid production, but it involutes after birth. Okay, my thinking is that my audience are familiar with anatomy of adrenal gland. So forgive me if I skip it to have explained that we have the cortex and the medulla. Okay, so the cortex has 3 zones: zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and zona reticularis. The outermost part is the zona glomerulosa, and that is responsible for aldosterone formation, the bioactive mineralocorticoid. The inner zona fasciculata and zona reticularis produce both cortisol and corticosterone. Regulations. Adrenocorticotropic hormone from the anterior pituitary will control zona fasciculata and zona reticularis, but will not control zona glomerulosa so much because it will only have less effect on that. Okay? Adrenal gland and other parts of the body will produce progestin, androgen, and estrogen. The adrenal cortex alone is responsible for glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids production. Still on regulation, glucocorticoids regulates glucose metabolism and modulates immune system. Adrenal gland can't store corticosteroids. Synthesis is equal to secretion from the adrenal gland. I'll talk more about this in the next slide. Mineralocorticoids regulate mineral and water balance. For example, aldosterone, and the synthetic form is fludrocortisone. Later on, we will know the importance of aldosterone when we don't have it. The reason why we will be looking for fludrocortisone. Can't store corticosteroids. Adrenal gland cannot store corticosteroids. So as it is synthesized, so it is secreted from the adrenal gland. Therefore, we always warn ourselves to take off steroids. Anyone taking steroids for a long period of time, don't stop it suddenly. If not, there will be a Addisonian crisis. Okay, because there is no storage of corticosteroids, that's why we do run into Addisonian crisis when there is stress or insult on adrenal gland. Because unlike liver that will store glucose in form of glycogen, and gluconeogenesis or glycogenolysis will occur and release the glucose into the circulatory system, we don't have that luxury when it comes to adrenal gland and storage of corticosteroids. It's not stored. So that is the reason when the adrenal gland is in trouble, we need exogenous steroid for treatment. And the same reason why there will be problem with glucose and problem with the blood pressure. Okay, we've talked about adrenal cortex, right? Now adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla produces the catecholamines, or monoamine neurotransmitters. They are both hormones and neurotransmitters at the same time. So to those in medical school or nursing school, when they ask you about a neurotransmitter that could also serve as a hormone, then you pick epinephrine. The name will differ depending on where you are. In some countries, it is epinephrine. In others, they regard it as adrenaline. So epinephrine is adrenaline, norepinephrine is noradrenaline. Also dopamine. It's useful in emergency situations for fight or flight. Increase blood pressure, and it can relax smooth muscle. That's why we give epinephrine in the face of asthmatic attack, and also in anaphylaxis or allergy treatment. In North America, the doctors and even patients are used to EpiPen from epinephrine. And of course, in advanced cardiac life support. You can see, if you remove the medulla, then we are in big trouble. And you can see the importance of the catecholamines, or the monoamine neurotransmitters. Still on adrenal medulla and sympathetic nervous system are jointly formed. Majority of the extra-adrenal chromaffin cells will regress, but some cells will remain to form sugar candy, and that will be found at the left of the aortic bifurcation, close to the inferior mesenteric artery origin. Accessory adrenal glands. There are accessory adrenal glands by either having cortical or medullary tissue, but you will not see both in accessory adrenal glands. So if you are finding accessory adrenal gland in any parts of the body, it's either that particular gland will have the cortical part or the medullary part, never both. Once you have both, then you are dealing with the adrenal gland itself, not accessory. Extra-adrenal pheochromocytoma is about 30% in pediatric age groups and about 15% in adults. Okay, because of that, accessory adrenal glands found in other parts of the body. It could be found in Zucker candy, could be found in left renal hilum, along the neck region, posterior chest, the atrium, and the bladder. The size of the adrenal gland. At birth, adrenal gland will be 1/3 of the size of the kidney. It's going to be big. However, later on, it will become just 1/30 as per the size of the kidney. And why that? When the kidney will continue to grow, the adrenal gland will undergo involution. So the kidney will keep on growing, the adrenal gland is now growing. If it is increased in size, that will be in the face of stress, pregnancy, or tumor. So adrenal gland will not just be big unless there's stress, pregnancy, or tumor. The left adrenal gland is bigger than the right. Position. Adrenal gland is a retroperitoneal organ at the superior and medial part of the kidney on both sides. The cortex is dark yellow and is about 80 to 90% of the entire gland. In other words, any trauma that would destroy the cortex has destroyed 80 to 90% of the entire adrenal gland. But the small percentage, 10 to 20% that forms medulla, cannot be overlooked because of the importance of the mineralocorticoids or catecholamines that they are producing. Medulla is red-brown and it is enclosed by the cortex, okay, except at the hilum, and it's only 10 to 20% of the entire gland. Blood supply. Adrenocorticotropic hormone produces an immediate increase in blood supply to the adrenal glands. Functions of the cortex and medulla are integrated by the arterial capillaries and venous capillaries. Okay. Hence, cortisol-rich content will flow to the medulla, where phenyletolamine and methyltransferase (PNMNT) is synthesized, and that will help in conversion of norepinephrine to epinephrine, or noradrenaline to adrenaline. But extra adrenal chromaffin can't make the above conversion. Hence, extra adrenal chromaffin we have only norepinephrine or noradrenaline. Extra adrenal chromaffin will not have epinephrine or adrenaline, only norepinephrine or noradrenaline. Okay, the arterial supply to the adrenal glands. We have superior suprarenal from inferior phrenic arteries, the middle suprarenal from the aorta, inferior suprarenal from the adjacent renal artery. Also, there are adjacent vessels from intercostal arteries, left ovarian, and left spermatic arteries. Venous drainage. Left adrenal vein is longer than right and is about 3 centimeters long. The right adrenal vein is less than 1 centimeter and it empties directly into the inferior vena cava. Left adrenal vein empties with left renal vein or left phrenic. Right adrenal vein empties into inferior vena cava but can be covered by tumor of the adrenal gland. Extra smaller veins are found in some right adrenal glands and can drain into the right hepatic or right renal vein. Sometimes, hepatic vein can join adrenal on its way to the inferior vena cava. Lymphatic drainage. 1 lymphatic pleasures in the medulla, 1 lymphatic pleasures in adrenal capsule, with aortic and para-aortic lymph nodes near the diaphragm and renal artery. Other lymphatics traverse the diaphragm and drain in the thoracic duct or the posterior mediastinum. Innervation. Medulla has a postsynaptic sympathetic nerve as a neuroendocrine transducer. Majorly, visceral afferent fibers from the celiac, the aorticorenal, and retinal autonomic ganglia will connect the vagus, phrenic, and splanchnic nerves. The nerves supply sensory or vasomotor innervation as they traverse the adrenal cortex and terminate in the medulla as the preganglionic sympathetic fibers. And with that, I've come to the end of the brief anatomy of the adrenal gland. and I hope this will form the foundation upon which the subsequent presentations on adrenal gland will be built. Thanks for listening, and please remember to share. Please remember to subscribe. I appreciate it.